Gibson Melodymaker in pelham blue. And over the years, the lacquer yellowed, so it turned green. Yellow and blue make green. And you can see a little bit of wear here where the blue shows through. So it was blue at one time. But I love this color. I think I'd rather keep it in the green personally. It's all original. Headstock was never broken, amazingly. Tuner's original. No breaks at the body here. Some scarring here. I think maybe it's that on the cord in the case or something. Or maybe a strap or something. But the front is beautiful, and everything about it is pretty awesome. Plays great. Now here's something you should think about when you go to buy a Melodymaker. This section here can show little cracks. Can you see that right there? It's in the green section, and they're on both sides. Here, check the other side out here. Right there, you see it? Yeah, so that little crack there, I don't think it's a major thing, because I know when they make these, they had to install a little piece of mahogany under here, because the fretboard is installed, and there's a gap between the bottom of the fretboard and the top of the body, because the neck is angled back, right? So the fretboard's coming up on a ramp, and then you have an opening. So what they do is they fill it with two little pieces of mahogany. So I know I've done it. I've made neck through body guitars, and I have to fill in extra little pieces there. So I think that little piece of mahogany on the other side may have just moved a little bit, and then it shows little openings. And it scares you when you see it. See it? But I don't think it's a problem personally, because you can tell, because the action is amazing on it. It's perfect. So, you know, when a neck is coming out, things start to look bad. And you see it on arch tops all the time. The action's real high. That's because the neck is starting to stick out, starting to come out. So this one still has perfect action. Of course, you don't see any problems here either, right? It's not coming apart. So I think it's just those little pieces. This line here is nice and smooth, right? So if the neck was coming out, you'd see it everywhere, not just there. So now, here's another thing about Melodymakers. Put a tremolo system on an SG, you're going to have a string angle problem back here. See how high that tremolo system sits and how low the bridge is? Well, that could be a problem to the point where you can't really play the guitar. However, this one's playing nicely, so we are just at the edge of it working perfectly. It's working perfectly. Even when you play hard, too. Listen, I'll do some hard playing here. So as you can see, you can still play it even though there's not a lot of string angle. Now, what you could do is you could take the tremolo system off, take it apart, and you can wrap these strings around the bottom through the wraparound bridge, and then you can use it without the tremolo. Then it becomes a stop tailpiece guitar without any of that. Take it off completely, leave it on for looks. Probably have to take the bar off because it'll just sit there and flop. I've seen people do that. So you can still get the look at the big chrome, and you get the tight sound of a wraparound bridge with no movement. As you can see, there is still some movement at the bridge when you move the strings, right? Yeah. It still plays nice though. I think I'd probably play with the tremolo system on it, and I've seen people do it. You know, Barry Goodrow from Boston often has this thing on his SG, right? Not usually playing a Melodymaker, but he is playing the same type of guitar. So people do it all the time, and they're able to play these things. And so let's give it a listen again. That's the bridge. Let's hear the neck. Sounds so good. Let's try the middle position here. By the way, playing through a root beer audio amplifier, handmade amp. That's a great tone, but I think you can probably get a good sound out of any amp with this. I'm a big fan of cheap amps and cheap little PVs and stuff, and I'm sure it would sound just as good. What else? Oh, switch. These switches aren't regular toggle switches, so listen, there's a little dead spot. They're made that way. Here's your neck. Here's your dead spot. Here's your middle. Dead spot. Dead spot right there. Here's bridge. You just got to be quick to move. Of course, it's dirty. I'll clean it one more time. I cleaned it 3 times. And you might want to put a new switch on at one point, but you know, sometimes you want to keep things all original too, and you just deal with the little quirks of it. I would probably leave it personally. If I would put it on stage with me, I might change it and keep that switch and put it back in later. In the meantime, it's pretty good.